Coming to you from Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge in Ingalls, Indiana, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. It's the Final Third Podcast.
Well, welcome back to the Final Third Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Isaiah.
Today, we're going to smoke the latest rendition of the Crook of the Crown from Stolen Thrones. If you guys have been coming in here and loved that cigar before, it took a few months to get them in, but we finally got them back in. We got a bunch of them in, and I've already had to reorder, and they came right in, so it looks like they've got their supply chain issues figured out.
That's good. That's really good. And today, we are drinking something a little bit special from our friends over at Circle City Whiskey Company, also a sponsor of Indy Fuel.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
are.
God
bless them for that. But this is a straight bourbon whiskey from an undisclosed Kentucky distillery.
Which we'll disclose that.
Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
And it's 6 years old, 119.2 proof. This is, looks like the Evan Williams mash bill or the Elijah Craig mash bill. So
yeah,
you know,
it's 6 years old. The story on this barrel was, because you really can't just go to Heaven Hill and buy a barrel too often.
No.
Story was that this barrel was shipped overseas, I believe, to Japan. For some reason, it was turned away, not accepted, whatever, and shipped back. But legally, Heaven Hill could not take this barrel back.
Yeah.
So it was already sold. So somehow, Circle City acquired this barrel, and they've sat on it for a little while, and this is what we've got.
Yeah.
And if you know how much we love Heaven Hill, we had to get some.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Was this one of the ones that he French oaked? It doesn't say anything about it. I would imagine that he would.
He may
put that on.
I would have thought he would have put that on there. It says level 3 char space side cooperage. That's just from the barrel. So yeah, I don't think he did anything special, anything new on it.
Yeah,
he did do some stuff with some of the other barrels, but not this one.
Yeah, totally.
I don't believe.
Well,
Drew, if you're listening, we messed that up. Let us know.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get in the cigar.
Yeah, me too. Rob was up until probably 5 this morning.
Yeah.
Doing inventory because they switched their point of sale system. So
yeah, when I was getting ready to leave, I was looking up to see if maybe the sun was coming up, but it wasn't quite that time yet.
So all right, on the cold draw of this, I went for a straight cut too. Oh yeah, that's
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. A little bit of that raisiny type sweetness, but
yeah, it's also got a little bit of kind of like a dry alfalfa.
Yeah,
and that could be because we just got them in, and I'm sure since they just got their restock in, it's probably a little bit fresh.
Yeah,
but not in a bad way. It's got a good draw on it.
And this has a partially closed foot, so when you cold draw it, just make sure that you know that it's not going to.
There we go.
Draw the best.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, but if you haven't listened to some old podcasts, we both typically like to just light that closed foot as you're puffing on it. It gives you a burst of flavor from the wrapper right off the beginning. If you're talking about a cigar that's a little bit stronger or even medium, that first puff's gonna be pretty strong because you're getting all that hit from the wrapper. But as it pulls into the cigar, you're going to actually get a lot more flavor that way.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Remember the makeup of this one? It's Mexican San Andreas.
Mexican San Andreas, yeah. I think
it's got Indonesian in it.
Yeah. God, I should have brought that out here. I didn't bring that part out. I think you're right.
There's something funky in the filler.
Yeah.
I thought it was Indonesian. But.
It could be. The funny thing about this one is being a stronger cigar, that initial retrohale, I didn't get any spice on it at all. Maybe my sinuses are dead.
I can't even retrohale today. My nose
Oh.
is just like I'm so congested. I think the weather or some sort of sickness has gotten to me. So
Yeah, very little spice on the retrohale right now. I know it picks up. There's a little bit. There's a little bit there,
yeah.
but overall, good cigar.
All right.
But I'm getting excited about getting
On
this
to the
whiskey.
Circle City.
I tried this whiskey a few weeks back and really loved it, and then was able to get some through our distributor, Indiana Small Batch. Shout out to those boys too.
Yeah.
But I haven't had any out of this bottle since we got it in, so I'm excited to get back into it.
Okay. Now, so last week, one of the things that I said was that the Elijah Craig mash bill does that red fruit, that almost cherry thing. And it's very present here for me.
It really is.
Um,
Now,
yeah.
being the first sip of the day, that first sip felt a little bit hot, but it's because it's 119 proof and it's first sip of the day.
Yeah.
After the second and third sip on this one, it's just going to be, it's
I don't know.
viscous.
That
It's nice
drank
on the,
easy for me.
It did, but I'm just
Yeah.
hot, just a little bit of spice or heat on the tongue.
Yeah.
But there's a vanilla in there.
Yeah, totally.
It's very thick on the tongue.
It's
very
creamy
thick on the
almost.
palate.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. That is genuinely
It
really,
does a
really
lot
good.
of the stuff that we love from Heaven Hill.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And at a affordable price.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a on-premise exclusive. So people going into your liquor stores, you're not going to be able to find this exact same barrel. You will find it at some of the bars around town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where all it's going yet. I know we got one of the first few cases, so
Yeah.
we're excited.
Well, good.
And so this is going to be our pairing for the month. So if you want to get out here and try this, it's going to be up on the board. You're going to get a 10% discount off the pairing. We'll look it up before the end and let you know about what the cost is
Yeah.
going to be, because I don't remember either one.
Right now, for me, it's like chocolate cherries.
Yeah.
A lot
There
of
you go,
that
cherry
vanilla
cordial.
quality. Yeah. A lot of that vanilla quality in there. Well, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New
It
Year,
is
man.
officially 2024.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
I felt like 2023 flew by.
Well, it's really crazy as a bar when people come in and you're carding them, and they were born in 2003 and still legally can come in here. It's like,
That
what the
is
hell just
crazy.
happened?
That is absolutely nuts.
I had one guy actually. It was so funny. We're sitting here at the bar, and we're talking to one of the customers, and he was just asking, "He's like, man, you guys seem to have a lot of young people coming here." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "We actually have quite a few people that are on their 21st birthday coming here
Yeah.
to get their first legal cigar and
Yeah.
drink." And he's like, "That's awesome." Dude walks up to the register and tells Lisa, he's like, "Hey, today's my birthday. I'm 21. I want to get something." I'm like, couldn't have been a better timing.
Yeah.
But that happens all the time, and it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good. No, I mean, this is a very chill place to get your introductory thing. And the part about this that kind of sets it apart from most bars is most people go to a bar to watch a game or to have food, and they just get drinks as
Yeah.
well. But here it's like the alcohol and the cigars are the star of the show. You're not really getting anything else, and like that's why people come here to
Yeah.
enjoy those things. And people aren't getting crazy here, anything
Yeah.
like that. So it really is a good place to come.
Yeah, and the
for,
focus
that
re-
occasion.
For us, it's the liquor and the cigars are the avenue to get to community, and that's what we really love, is to build that community with people and see people become great friends and come hang out because they met here. That's
Yeah.
so much fun.
So have you seen the Padron 1926 80 year?
I haven't bought one yet, but I've seen it on
Yeah.
online. Yeah,
So
I don't know what the price would be though. So
they're like 40-ish a piece.
yeah,
So when I was at that, I went to a wedding of the daughter of one of the people that comes in here on New Year's Eve.
yeah,
And I brought a lot of good stuff, but he opened a humidor that had a box or two of those in there. It was like,
Nice.
we're celebrating tonight, Isaiah. And I was like, absolutely we are. Like,
I'm
let's
sure
do
that's
it.
a great cigar. That
Oh my
26
gosh,
blend is
it's delicious.
26 blend is my favorite Padron. Even of the high end anniversaries, still my favorite.
And it's in that like bellicoso shape.
Oh,
yeah,
that's my jam. That's what I've got.
It was really so good.
Yeah, 1926 number 2 Maduro, best one. I love that cigar. Well, good for you, man.
It was fantastic. That's how we rang in the new year.
Well, I saw a lot of people ringing their new year in with the knuckle sandwich 55s that they say.
I did see that.
That was kind of nice.
It's nice because there is a hope of getting more in February.
Next month we should be getting our 56s in, and I'm really, really hoping they don't even mess with the blend. That blend was
spectacular.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Best, honestly, probably the best San Andreas cigar I think I've ever smoked.
I would have to agree.
Just straight up San Andreas. Now, I will say one thing. Padron doesn't admit to it, but a lot of people in the industry claim that the tobacco from on the 1926 Maduro is San Andreas.
Yeah.
And I would believe that by smoking it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But they claim everything's from Nicaragua, which I don't think so. But it's that was my favorite last year. That was my favorite cigar of the year. Even though there were some great ones, that was probably the one that I would like. I wish I still had a box or two back.
Yeah.
I will keep a box back of the 56s this time.
Yeah, totally. You got your 1 year coming up.
2
year.
2 year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I know, it's insane, isn't it?
Did you ever think you'd make it to 2?
I did, yeah, I did. I felt like this.
In all your wildest dreams, would you have imagined it been like this?
Not this fast. I figured it'd take a lot longer to get to where we are now, even though we need it to continue to grow. Because Lisa would have freaked out if it would have been growing as slow as I thought it was going to grow.
Well, you had also worked at a lounge prior to this that was just sounds like was just notoriously dead.
Yeah, I mean, not always, but I mean, it was. But again, it was only the first year, and it was still kind of gaining steam to get that customer base in there. And I mean, it takes a good year to get people kind of used to coming to your place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of what they had. They had the crew that came in quite a bit, and they were the ones kind of keeping the lights on and everything else. But to grow, one of the issues that they had a little bit too was they didn't have parking close to the building, so you had to park in a little parking lot or a big parking lot and walk to it. Well, it gets to winter, and a lot of people just don't want to walk very far, and that kind of hurts a little bit.
I mean, seriously,
but it was a great location.
You're going to the cigar lounge to smoke in heat and in peace. The last thing you want to do is walk through
snow and ice
on, and they don't do a great job with those sidewalks.
No, I'll tell you, man. We had a really
we're
big
talking
snow.
About old. It's
old
like
downtown
old downtown
Greenwood. Yeah. It was right on Main Street, so you know where Main Street through Old Greenwood. That's where it was. We had a big snow one year, and the trucks went through and pushed snow. Well, the sidewalks were like 4 feet deep.
Because they pushed the snow on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Reed got up one morning and shoveled the sidewalk from the parking lot to get to our place because you had to walk into the road to get around to it.
Oh my!
He went out there and did it. I'm like, damn, that was dedication right there.
I would have loaded a snowblower in the back of my car and done
you wouldn't have got through this with a snowblower. It was hard.
Really?
He almost had to get a hammer to knock that shit apart.
No, that really is the worst.
God, I hope we didn't just jinx ourselves for snow.
Nah. It seems like it's gonna be a pretty
mild winter.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to get. I mean, it was cold when I left this morning. It was like 19 when I left. I'm like, that was pretty chilly. But
it's still pretty cold.
Yeah.
But I've heard that this kind of cold at night, warming up during the day has been really good for quite a few different states that were just way low on their rain count. So, actually, could be a good thing. So,
well, it's so funny because I remember when we were kids, it was always like, oh, look at the Farmer's Almanac. We're going to get a lot of snow this year. And guess what? We got a lot of snow that year.
Yeah.
It's not really quite that accurate last few years.
But
But what's funny now is like all the weather people will say we're in a El Nino or La Nina or whatever. And it's like, I think we're in an El Nino this year again, which I think all that means is it's going to be a warmer winter than normal. I don't know.
I'm no weather boy.
I'm not either. We should get Brian Wilkes on the show.
We should. Yeah, that would be great.
We should. I'll reach out to him, see if he'll come on the show with us.
I saw that Chris Stapleton's signature whiskey with Buffalo Trace came out. It's dropped all over the place around town. By all over the place, I mean it's, as far as I've seen, been available at every single Total Wine store.
Well, good for him.
So that's HTC, Avon, Nora, which is
Greenwood,
Northside,
probably.
Carmel, and Greenwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an artist branded whiskey made at Buffalo Trace. So
Is it higher proof or is it in that 90 proof
it's
range?
90 proof.
Okay.
And the other interesting thing about it, because I've seen a lot of boys online try and claim that it's a weeder. So I will tell you the amount of speculation these guys have.
Must have been sniffing a Weller barrel.
What these, as I will affectionately call stupids, are claiming, if you turn the bottle sideways, like just look at it from the side, you will see part of the V, ELLER. There are two L's in the word traveler. You know what? That's not the correct spelling of traveler, Rob. But there are also two L's in Weller.
Wow.
Wow.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
I don't think so. It could just be the name of Stapleton's biggest album.
But you want to know something? If it is a weeder, why the hell would they use Weller? They got so much freaking Weller juice. They might as well use
It's
it.
literally not a weeder.
Oh, it's not a weeder.
It is
okay.
labeled as a blended American whiskey.
Oh, okay.
It is
okay.
probably majority light whiskey.
Have you tried it?
No.
Oh.
It just dropped in our market yesterday. I thought about running out to grab a bottle.
Do you know the price point on it?
Total Wine sold it yesterday for $32.99 and today for $39.99.
We should get a bottle of that just to do it for science.
I'm sure somebody in our crew will buy
But I will
one.
say one thing. Yeah, someone in our crew. If you guys are listening, bring us a sample or come on the show with us. We'll try it.
If you find one, hit one of us up and we'll just buy it off.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I would definitely do
It's
that.
not a big deal. That's so cheap.
But that, unfortunately, the lower cost bottles of Buffalo Trace, I'm not a big fan of.
But you like
They're okay though. They're okay.
What's that one that you like? Benchmark.
Benchmark Full Proof,
Yeah, I mean, but that's less
and that
money.
I paid my $15.99 for mine.
Yeah, like.
But Benchmark Full Proof is.
I think
good.
at the max you'll see those at like 25.
Yeah, they are.
But you're talking about 125 proof.
Yeah.
And then you get into something like this Traveler whiskey, and they are you just have to think about the quality of whiskey that's in there. For them to be at that $32.99 or $39.99 price point, really, you're competing. If it were a bourbon, I would say differently, but it's not a bourbon. It's a blended American
True.
whiskey. And out of this, they're having to pay Stapleton royalties from
Wow.
every bottle.
That's true.
You know, it's just like, it cannot be the best stuff known to man at that price point. I just don't see how that's plausible.
But I could see why an artist or a celebrity would go with a lower proof because they're trying to hit the palate of everybody, not just a bourbon lover. So, anybody could buy that and sip on it and say they like it.
I mean, the other possibility in here, and Dr. J put that in our chat, is the fact that part of it could be reused bourbon barrels that are now aging Wheatley vodka. Like,
True.
I'm sure it's a corn-based product.
Yep.
Like, it would surprise me if it wasn't. And it could be blended with some of one of their bourbon mash bills. Like it's not far out of the question, but
No.
some portion of this cannot be classified as a bourbon.
Right.
And I think if it was just a mixture of the bourbon and rye mash bills, like I've seen somewhere online, they would probably call it a burr rye, knowing that would sell like crazy. So
Didn't the name burr rye actually get patented by somebody? I thought someone patented that so no one else could use it.
I don't know. If anybody did it, it would have been High West.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Let me see.
So when this is dropping, actually, we might be there at this moment when you listen to this. We're going to be at Buffalo Trace. We're going down there to Bourbon 30, which is next door to Buffalo Trace. We're blending another bottle since the Let's Go Fuel bottle is almost completely sold out. We're going to blend another one. And this time, Will and I are going to actually do a blend together, and we're gonna put that on the shelf here. Michigan football. They made it to the national championship.
Yeah.
I'm going to say right now, Michigan and Washington in the national championship, those were two of the best playoff games in college football I've ever seen. They both went down to the last seconds, and they were very exciting. So I'm hoping for an exciting game, hoping for a win for Will. You know, Will's a Michigan grad. I told him, I was like, you need to blend a bottle. And his first bottle was Cocky Wolverine.
Yeah.
This one needs to be a natty championship or something on there so he can. But I'm like, the problem with this is we're blending it before the game.
Oh.
So the game's that night. So it's like, how cocky are you to go ahead and pick it and hope like hell you win?
Yeah, seriously.
So but we're going to be doing that. And then after we get done blending that, we're going to be going to Buffalo Trace and see. Actually, no, we're going to Buffalo Trace first, I believe.
Yeah.
No, it's after. It's after. We're going to go over there and do a tour and see what they got for us.
Cool.
So,
did you already book a tour?
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't do walk-ins.
No. We're trying to see if Dr. J will go with us too.
Yeah.
He just had surgery and he's finally starting to get out a little bit more and get him to go down there with us, but we're not sure if he's going to be able to make it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But he said he already did the tour, so if he doesn't get in, he doesn't care. He'll sit at the bar and drink.
Yeah. Their selection has always disappointed me. Like, all of the bottles that I want, you just can't even buy at the distillery.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the day, whatever. But all that they have in their rotation is Weller Special Reserve, Sazerac Rye, Blanton's, and E.H. Taylor Small Batch.
Whoa! They have Blanton's.
They do have Blanton's.
Oh man, I hope so.
The
God,
best.
I hope.
Oh, dude, it's so smooth.
It's so smooth.
So smooth.
That horsey makes everything better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. If that's the only things that they're offering and we get one of those last two, I'll probably just do Taylor. I like Taylor. I don't know. I might
they
get
offer
horsey.
one of those a day.
I know.
So
I'm
it
saying
will
if
be-
one of those are available, I don't know if they have Saz Rye.
I don't know how they could
They
still
should. It's
offer
everywhere
that.
now.
It is. Well, it's at least everywhere in Indiana.
I mean, there's literally skids of that stuff everywhere. Go to
Everywhere.
Meyer and walk down the
Oh
toy
my
aisle. There's a
gosh.
skid.
I was scrolling through Facebook, I think last night, and somebody was posting about Buffalo Trace allocations and why they became so much more prevalent this year, which is what Rob and I talked about. And we said the lower tier allocations are just going to be everywhere.
Yep.
The one that really got everywhere was Sazerac Rye. I was scrolling through this post and somebody was like, yeah, I was so excited to see Sazerac Rye for the first time. And then I cracked it open, poured me some, and realized it was best used for dishwasher cleaner.
Yeah. That's just a funny thing, too, is like, we make the Sazerac cocktail here.
Yeah.
And honestly, Sazerac Rye kind of ruins the cocktail.
It makes a bad cocktail. Well,
It's
it makes
too
a
low
bad
proof.
Sazerac.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I'm sure it probably makes a decent old-fashioned with the notes in it. But, before that, even Buffalo Trace, started. I mean, it's hard to get Buffalo Trace in this state for a long time. Now it's skids that everywhere.
I think it was hard to get Buffalo Trace in our state for the first couple months of the year just because of that changeover. And probably they were I would imagine if I went over to Ohio today, and if you live in Ohio, let us know. But they got Weller Special Reserve like we had Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
So Ohio people would come over here and
To get
buy Buffalo Trace,
Yeah.
and we'd go over there to buy Special Reserve. So
Yeah.
it was like, I would imagine that they got Buffalo Trace now. Like,
Probably.
just on the shelf all the time.
Well, and I really feel like that they were playing the game so hard that people were just tired of playing the game of allocation, and they got so much product. It's like, let's ship it everywhere and sell it. You know what? You know who's winning in that? Everybody, including the distillery.
Yeah.
Because now they're selling more product. So hopefully they learn from that, and hopefully they start putting more stuff out available for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to see more of the BTAC stuff actually show up to where you can actually buy it instead of having to hunt it down and wait for a lottery to get it or something.
Well, I mean, our market got even more of that this year than I'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we really did get a lot.
There was a lot of people that got a lot of Pappy this year. You
Yeah.
notice that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ray down at his event, I think he had like 20 bottles of Pappy or
I
something.
think he had a case of everything in their line. Like,
That was pretty amazing though. So, are you on your phone?
Good.
You good?
Yeah. It's just my doctor's office reminding me
Sorry.
of my eye appointment.
Sorry, you tested positive for syphilis.
Syphilis. I better not. I just got new insurance this year, and it's got pretty good vision insurance with it. So I made my appointment for the eye doctor, and it's a stupid thing to be excited about. But oh my gosh, I have not had my eyes checked in like 3 years.
Oh, geez.
So yeah.
I'm in that boat right now too. I just got mine done last year for the first time in 3 years, and now my eyes are like getting. I mean, my eyes have been reversing for the last few years, so it's actually getting better.
Yeah.
I don't even need to wear glasses, but it's habit now.
Yeah.
And it's like I can see everything in here perfectly fine, except for if I take off my glasses, I can still read the TV, but I can't really. I mean, it's fuzzy, but I can still read it. I'm like,
there's no way.
I
can't even. I couldn't even read Tam's shirt as she's walking around if I didn't have my glasses. But
Well, we had Dave Ellison come in on New Year's Eve, and that dude is so much fun, man. He sit here and play.
He really is an entertainer.
But I'll tell you what, the bursting out star of the night, singing at the top of his lungs.
Deshong.
No, Eric Jansen.
Wow.
I know. Eric was over there singing some old country with him, and he was actually helping Dave with some words in one of the songs that Dave couldn't remember. He was over there singing it for him. I'm like,
that's awesome.
So Eric
love
Jansen's
that.
getting ready to go on tour. If you guys want to get your tickets now, we're selling tickets.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I was cracking up. It must have been Tuesday morning. And I was at the church, and Eric called me up. He was like, "Are you at work?" I said, "Yeah, I'm at work." He said, "All right, I'm coming by." And he just came by the church, hung out in my office for like an hour and a half or so.
Did you bring his bag?
No, he didn't bring his bag. Dude, it was like 9 a.m.
And?
No, I was just cracking up. I was like, that's so cool. Like, that's
funny.
so funny. I mean, I didn't care. It's like nobody...
Close your door and just tell everyone pastoral duties.
I mean, actually, part of it was to pastoral care related.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was just kind of fun. I love that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Such a solid guy.
Well, he's getting closer and closer to the wedding day, too.
Yeah, he is.
May. I think it's May, right?
March.
Oh, crap. Okay. Yeah, I've already told him I'm not going to be able to get away. That's so close to PCA and all the times we're going to be gone. If I left for a couple more days, then all the employees here would have to work a lot of hours, and they can't do that.
Yeah,
I wish I could.
I wanted to go, but I got to looking at my calendar, and it's like Easter weekend.
Oh, that's true.
I was like, there is no way. There is no way.
Yeah.
Can't you find a replacement? Not for that weekend. I would get beat up.
Yeah.
If I did.
Yeah, well, when I told Lisa I was going, she was about to beat my ass too. So I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Because she would have been stressed out pretty bad.
Yeah. No need for that.
No.
Lisa can hold her own. She'd rather Rob hold it.
Yes. Hold her own. I will hold her own. Yes.
Actually, she runs this place more than Rob does most of the time.
Oh yeah, all the time. Her and Tam keep it together.
Yeah, they do.
Now we did get a new point of sale system in now.
Yeah.
Bear with us when you come in because we're still working out all the kinks of the rotation between Square and the new system. It's going to be good once it's all set up and done. We're still working on the loyalty program. It was supposed to be uploaded immediately when we got it, and the guy that was supposed to upload it decided to quit the day before we set it up, so it's not been loaded up. So we're trying to get him to get that, or get the new guy to get that stuff uploaded so we can actually start doing the loyalty.
Yeah,
because that was one of the big things with this system was the loyalty was going to be nice to be able to offer that to you guys. So
yeah,
bear with us. We'll get that going as soon as we can, but we are. That's why I was here all night last night. I was doing inventory on all the cigars. Lisa and Tam have done all the inventory on all the liquor and all the other stuff. So
yeah,
now it's just a matter of making sure everything's in there.
Well, and what's the word on gift cards that were bought on the old point of sale system?
You can use them still. We have to type in the numbers, so it's going to take a minute to get them in.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, we should be able to accept them, but there's about a 1 or 2 week period where we might not be able to accept gift cards until they're uploaded, but they're supposed to be about any time. So if you do have one and come in, ask us if you can use it before you get going, just to make sure. And if we can't, we apologize, but there's not a whole lot we can do when you got two different systems working against each other right now.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
But we will have them, and that we will honor all the gift cards that have been purchased. So
yeah. So did you already sell out of Elijah Craig 18?
Nope. It's to the right of the barrel picks.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, we've sold a few pours of it. Not a ton. I mean, it's a higher dollar bottle, so it's not the first thing people will go for. Kind of like the Heaven Hill 20. It's not that expensive, but it's up there.
It's pretty expensive.
It is.
It's not a lightweight pour. Man, on New Year's Eve, I shocked the bartender because I was like, "Hey, how much is a pour of that Maverick?" And he was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "It's the bottle, 2 to the right of the High West on the top shelf." And he was like, "I don't think we have that." I said, "You literally do. I'm looking at it."
What? He didn't want to sell a product?
Well, he just I think he thought I made it up, or just was didn't know what I was asking for. And I was pointing at it. And he finally told me, and I paid what I felt like was way too much for it.
What'd you pay?
$22 a pour.
Yeah, that seems a little high.
Yeah, but
is it 2 ounces?
No.
Or 1.5? Oh, then you did pay too much for 2 ounces.
I was at the point in the night where if I had stopped drinking, I would have crashed. And can't do that when the wedding is lasting all the way through the new year. So
exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So how was the Maverick?
Tasted amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with that Padron 26.
Where was it at?
The Omni Chevron downtown.
Okay. Be curious which barrel they got or which cases they got, because
I don't know.
When we tried through them all, Steve and I fell in love with the ones that we ended up getting. And
the
then I
one
know they sold some of the same case over at Town Liquors.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody else got any of that same case.
The one that I got at that hotel bar was very port heavy.
Yeah.
It was port mixed with whiskey.
Yeah.
Which
is
I don't
bad.
mind.
No.
It's kind of good, but it was.
Which even the one we have is very similar to that too, just a little bit more whiskey forward.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because my taste buds were already falling asleep for the evening or what, but it was just all port.
Dude, that cigar probably did some of that too.
Oh, yeah.
Because that chocolatiness of that cigar probably pulled out the port more.
Yeah.
That Maverick stuff is so good.
It really is.
And we're kind of getting to the end of it, because once you don't see them, they're not coming back again, because it was a one-time deal. And I know Town had a lot of it, so they might still have some. I don't remember. I think someone said there's like 80, 85 bucks at Town,
Yeah.
something like that. So
Which I think that's a bottle that's worth it.
I think so too, especially to have just one on the bar. You don't need to have. I mean, you might want to get an extra backup because again, you'll never be able to get this again.
Yeah. I mean, if you like it, or if there's even an occasion when you like it, just get a backup bottle. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
I could imagine sitting there with a dark chocolate bar and drinking that. It'd be delicious. Smoking some of the darker cigars, a lot of the Sumatras that are coming out, drinking that, amazing. It's also a beautiful winter pour. Like for the cold months, you get that nice warming kind of baking spice port notes, and you get the little bit of the whiskey in there. And I mean, it's what's it like 120 proof? It's still
Somewhere
up there. Yeah. It's just great. When did that come out? 21 or 22 or 23?
I think it was the end of 22, maybe.
That sounds about right.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know how they've lasted as long as they did,
I don't
unless
either.
they just had a bunch of stock.
Well,
the other hard part about it is it's kind of one of more of those if you know bottles.
Exactly. You have to tell a story to make people want it.
Yeah. And I'm just telling you, if you see it somewhere, give it a shot.
get it.
Come
Yeah.
in here, try it. It's not going to be $22 for a 1.5 ounce pour.
No.
But it will be amazing.
No, and I was trying to look it up, but I realized that Lisa deleted my app that had it on there to update it for our new system. I don't know how to look it up in that one yet. So
Yeah, Lisa doesn't want you to know how
no,
much
it was the
things
old
cost.
Square one.
Oh, God.
That's where I used to look all this stuff up, and
Yeah.
now I can't do it.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
No more doing stuff on the fly, I guess.
Well, and there's a reason why I've got some stuff up here on the table too. So on the podcast you won't see it, but it's beard oil and beard balm. We are in that time of year where beards are growing out. So if you need some beard oil and beard balm, the girl we have that makes this stuff is amazing, and she's made us 2 different blends. One's a bourbon blend, one's a tobacco blend, and you get them in both the balm and the oil. So come in here and get some of it. We got a good supply of it. I use it every day, and I love it. So I know we're trying to promote her because she does an amazing job.
Yeah.
And
This
is the season.
It is dry skin season. And for
Yes.
facial haired people, the skin under your facial hair gets extra dry.
Mm-hmm.
So just use the beard oil.
Well, and that's a good point too. This is not like healthcare talk with Rob and Isaiah.
Yeah, I'm not sure they
But-
want our healthcare advice.
But I will say one thing with this: a lot of people, and I've heard people, don't put the oils on correctly.
Yeah.
Because they'll just like rub it on the beard, comb through, and move on. But what you want to do is you want to comb it into your skin, because it's not really as much for the hair, even though it does soften the hair up. It is for your skin,
Yeah.
and so you rub it in and comb it into to where it actually goes to the end of the hair on the skin. That's how it actually works. If you're having dry skin and you can't figure out why you're using oil, that could be the reason why.
Other thing, if you're a little self-conscious about your beard, the beard balm,
Yeah.
it makes it look fuller than it is.
It does, and it also
keeps
keeps
things
the
together,
hairs,
yeah.
the flyaway hairs down a little bit. Mine's really. I mean, if I don't put anything on it, mine just puffs up like
Yeah.
a cotton ball. So,
Oh, yeah.
and it probably is puffed up today because I didn't use a whole lot today.
Yeah.
I was rushing in here.
Yeah, I can't believe you woke up when you did.
I actually woke up an hour early and couldn't go back to sleep.
That's
I don't know-
rude.
I don't know what the heck that was all about.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're at the first of the year.
Yeah.
We got some, if you're on the email and whatever, you probably know some of this stuff, but we've got Al McAuliffe's going to be coming.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing an event with him. I believe it's the first part of February or middle of February. We've got, we're actually setting up a tasting hopefully in January with Heaven Hill.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have Heaven Hill come in here and do a tasting. We've got, and I'm just talking about some events coming up. I don't have dates right now, but we've got Aladino event for the Final Four.
Yep.
And we're bringing
that is a can't miss event.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. We also have Barrel Craft Spirits coming that day. and we're going to be doing a tasting of all their stuff. And
You'll want to be
dude,
there.
I'm telling you right now, it was one of the best tastings I've ever had.
I believe you.
I think a couple of the guys were here with us.
Yeah.
And they brought out the silver or the gray and gold label stuff.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Barrel is their prices are dropping almost in half on everything they're doing.
Yeah.
So you're going to see that. Not all half. You're going to be
Uh-huh.
seeing those $99 bottles you've been seeing down around that $79 range. You're going to see the $500 gold labels at $299. You're going to see the gray label ones that have been $299 down to $149 to $179. I'm like, they're finally, and that's what's cool is they're making so much product, and they're seeing the market, and they're like, you know what? We can still make money doing it this way. Let's
Yeah.
do this and take care of our customers.
Well, and the other thing is they have been a notoriously sourced whiskey company, and
Yep.
they still are,
Yep.
but they bought right when they bought their stocks, and they're probably the early stuff that they bought is now coming of age and is ready to go, so they don't have as much capital invested into that.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've said it before. We think that Penelope, maybe Magnus are probably the best blenders in the world right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so those are some of the events we got coming. Obviously, we got PCA coming up, which is the Premium Cigar Association trade show. We'll be going to that. Hopefully, we'll be able to find some new cigars coming out at that event to be able to bring them back in here for you guys.
Do you have any more tickets for the Jackie's I Can tasting, or are those
I
gone?
think there's just a couple left.
like 2 or 3.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I would say if you're wanting to go, get them now. You can come in here and buy it. You can buy them off the email.
Yeah.
If you can't do either but want to come, send me a message on Instagram, Final Third Cigar, or send me an email. Send the email to rob@finalthirdcigar.com, and we'll get you the link to be able to pay for it.
Yeah, it's $150,
and it's
a
definitely going to
spot.
be worth it.
And everybody that I've talked to said it is expensive, but it is worth it. It's a master class in tasting. So if that's something that is ever interested you, honestly, for what it sounds like we're going to get, it is totally worth it.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet her too, and we're going to be coming back through Kentucky next week, so I'm going to try to get a couple of bottles of some Hidden Barn stuff.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't bring her own stuff, then I'm going to have a couple of bottles here to share during the event because, might as well taste some of the stuff this girl's making. So
Yeah.
but that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to say right now, this cigar never kicked up to full to me.
It didn't for me either.
I feel like this blend is not as strong as the original blend. I feel like this has dropped down probably at least a solid point, if not 2.
Yeah.
But I will say,
finally
everyone
getting
that
a little
smoked
bit
it,
of spice on the palate.
I'm not getting. Well, you're a little. Well, no, we're about the same. I'm not getting a lot of spice yet.
Yeah.
But I will say the people that love this cigar when they were smoking it before still love it, and they still
Yeah.
buy it by the handful.
Yeah.
So it's still hitting a lot of the same things. The thing I think I used to like about it more was because it had more of that black and red pepper that I'm not getting now. Which maybe they went through a retooling and they decided they wanted to pull some of the pepper out of there because pepper can be pretty off-putting to some people.
It can be. Do you know what isn't off-putting, though, is this whiskey. It's fantastic.
It really is.
With the cigar, some of those red fruit notes have kind of chilled out. It's brought out a lot more of it's almost like salted caramel, a lot of vanilla, a little bit of nuttiness in there. But
I mean, honestly, it's almost a vanilla bomb after that cigar. It is so good. Like a candied vanilla. And I love that. But I still get the red fruit.
on the nose of the whiskey, I'm getting some cinnamon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that must have come after the cigar for us. That's awesome. So if you guys don't know much about Circle City, Drew, his name's Drew Black. He is a source. He's sourcing whiskey. He's blending whiskey. He's aging whiskey. He's doing things with toasted staves. He's trying to get into that world, kind of like what, like Barrel's doing and Penelope and all those are doing. But he's a local guy. He's obtaining some really good barrels.
He is.
He's got some really great MGP barrels. Obviously, this Heaven Hill barrel. He's got, I don't know where all he's got barrels from. Honestly, I don't know. But he's doing some good stuff local here, and I love seeing someone local doing something really well. And you know what? He's unashamedly saying, "This is not my stuff.
Yeah.
This is sourced, but it's going to be really good."
Well, it reminds me of brands like Lost Lantern, which is not a name that's so popular anymore, but quite a few years ago, they were a brand that was doing single barrels of craft distilling, of craft distilleries, and spotlighting them. So if that craft distillery wasn't in a particular market, well, Lost Lantern was, and you could kind of test out the market that way. But also, if Lost Lantern put their name on your juice, like, you knew it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the ways that, like, Starlight picked up popularity. Lost Lantern did one with their rye, and, like,
No, really.
people still talk about that bottle. But it is a really cool thing to do. He's sourced MGP, this stuff from an undisclosed Kentucky distillery called Heaven Hill.
Yep.
I know he's done stuff with Pennington, and there's one
Watershed.
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 So honestly, it is a really cool thing, and it's also nice to have an Indiana brand that is very clearly sourced, that is doing something other than all MGP.
Yeah, high rye mash bill.
High rye, the high rye bourbon. Like, everybody does that, or they just do the 95.5s.
Yeah.
And, like, I love the old Hamer stuff for that. I really do think some of those older picks of it were really, really good. And I
do too.
I say only the older ones just because I haven't tasted one in probably a couple of years, so
Yeah,
I don't
same
know
here.
where they're at now. But it was like the old Hamer stuff. I remember Vine and Table had a pick of their 95.5 mash bill, and it was a 4-year 95.5 from MGP, and it was like the most medicinal spicy rye I'd ever had in my entire life.
And you fell in love.
And I that was the bottle that made me realize, like, I love spicy rye.
Yeah.
It had like a really prominent and present eucalyptus note, and I had bought it at probably about like January, February, and it was just like kind of that comforting warming of all the medicinal notes going down. So I really do think what Drew, the owner of Circle City, is doing is really cool and valuable for our market.
I think so.
It definitely has a space here, and I think this is a brand that will be around for a long time, and one that people from Indiana, and specifically the Indianapolis area, can be proud to have.
I think so too. I feel like in the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot more of his stuff coming out. We're going to actually have him come out and do a tasting here soon too.
Yeah.
So you can try through some of the stuff. We've had his bottle and bond straight bourbon up here for about a month, maybe a little longer. And now we have this bottle too. So you're going to start seeing it more on more shelves. I know they're selling to liquor stores around here now too, to some on-premise bars and restaurants too. So you're going to start seeing it. If you're in the Indy Fuel game, they're the ones doing the bourbon at the bars.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be good. One thing I'm curious if you know anything about is what's going on with Starlight. I mean, we talk about Starlight a lot, but I've not seen a whole lot really going on with them. Are they looking to start releasing stuff soon?
I have not seen distillery releases since all of their repeal day stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of picks that have come around our market of like Cigar Batch and things like that, but I have not seen anything special or new from them since their, I forget what they're calling the series, but it's the one that they did the Toasted in, and they did the Mizunara in, and it was like, so they made a big hoop and holler about Mizunara. And the funny thing about that is because they made a big hoop and holler about it, and it was so hard to get and all of these things. Well, you know what off-the-shelf bourbon you can get that has a portion of it aged in Mizunara barrels?
I think it's called barrel craft spirits.
Vantage.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it is cool to see a craft distillery work with exotic woods like that. I mean, I think if they weren't the first, they were the ones that popularized Amburana. And I think they're trying to do that with Mizunara now. I think they're, in my hypothesis, I think that's their next cash cow.
I can see
because
that.
the Starlight fans really seem to like it. And I like the fact that they're going back to natural wood finishes, and as opposed to, I guess I would call it tainted wood finishes when you're doing port or sherry or anything like that. Not that those are bad. It's just kind of nice to have something else that's working with your flavor profile and is not affecting the whiskey as much as like a port or a sherry finish or a honey,
The only thing that worries me about them, and again, we do love Starlight.
I love them.
No love
I was
lost for them
drinking
at all.
Starlight the other night.
I mean, our Starlight port finish rye, we have just a little bit left of it, and people we got some people that's all they drink. It's
Yeah,
great stuff.
It's fantastic.
But the one thing that worries me about them is their prices have kept creeping up, and if they're already putting out how rare this Mizunara barrel is and all that stuff, I really hope it's not approaching that $100.
I think it's an $85 bottle.
That's just a little high for me them. I mean, I like their stuff, but I mean, even when it was up to the
for
75,
a 5-year
I had to think about it.
It's just hard for me to do.
Yeah.
Unless I tried it and said, yeah, I need a bottle of this.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing is at the gift shop, if you go in and you ask somebody and they have a bottle open, they will pour you some. You will be able to try it. So you really never have to walk around there and have a question of if you're going to like the bottle when it comes home.
Do they have all the new releases over at the bar if you wanted to get a pour of them? I
don't think they'll sell them by the pour, but in the past when I have been there, they have gone out of their way to let me try each bottle if they have it cracked open behind the bar that's in that kind of eating area.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I know for the longest time, especially when I was first getting into Starlight, you were shortly before me.
Yeah.
Every release, there was a line.
Yeah.
And that's not happening as much anymore. I think it's just because everyone's like got 50 bottles of Starlight. It's like, how much more
the other hard part about it is they were pioneers in the finishing industry. And I don't think they were the first to do a lot of it, but they were the first to popularize it. A lot of it they were.
Yeah.
And
almost to the detriment of their regular stuff.
Yeah,
People don't even drink their bourbon anymore.
I seriously think they make the best rye in Indiana. I have no qualms about saying that. Some of their ryes that I have had are just blow you away, amazing. But they've gone out of their way to keep it all at 4 and 5 year. I have a 7-year rye from them.
Yeah,
that was a legitimate 7-year and a legitimate short barrel. Like it was bought by one of the employees and sold to me because I was friends with him. That's like an amazing, amazing whiskey.
That's cool. Well, I'm hoping to start seeing some of the new some of the distilleries putting stuff out. We've got with Indiana Small Batch. Nice thing about them, I guess this is a commercial sponsorship for Indiana Small Batch today.
Yes, yeah.
But with them, they're a smaller distributor that's based out of Indiana. They're going after a lot of these distilleries that aren't in Indiana. They're doing great stuff, like Melick from Louisiana,
Yeah.
High Bank over in Ohio. I can't remember all the ones they're going for right now, but they're trying to bring some of this stuff in here. So it's an exciting time where some of these, I would say, not new, not low tier, but kind of those mid tier brands that are not here yet are starting to find their way in. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is too is like we love bourbon. Bourbon's 50%, 51% corn, blah blah blah. Melick does a lot of stuff with rice whiskey and then ages it in barrels, and it can trick your brain into thinking you're drinking a bourbon.
Absolutely.
That wood does a lot.
Other thing about Starlight, and then I'll hop off the train, they just got their column still installed.
That's right, they did.
They are going to be running
a lot more product.
And it'll probably be mass market available in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I hope they have one of those rick houses just set to age for a long time.
As far as I knew last time, they were planning on building a cellar.
Good.
Yeah. Because
as
far as we've seen in Kentucky and Indiana, you kind of do need a cellar to hit that high age mark. Unless you're Heaven Hill and you just have enough barrels that you'll find some honey barrels every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like just absolutely beautiful high age stuff.
Now, if you were for a good example, Old 55 up in Newtown, they're just south of Lafayette. They're far enough north where even though they have stuff in the basement, they could probably be in a rick house and it would be a totally different aging process than even Starlight, because Starlight's only a few miles north of Kentucky.
I mean, honestly, we give Old 55 a lot of crap on this show, but it's only because I know that they can make amazing product, and they don't every single time. I made that sound like they've never made a good product.
No, they got some good stuff.
Not all of their releases are as amazing as I know that they can be. I think it would do them good to put up a pole barn and start their aging there and then move it into that basement.
Maybe even take some of their stuff and put it in some bigger barrels in a bigger rick house.
Yeah.
But they're using what they've got. I mean, that's what every distillery does. They use what they got.
It makes them unique.
It does.
It definitely does.
But I mean, are there any new distilleries that have been popping up in Indiana that you can think of? I know there's a couple of them that honestly I've tried their stuff. I don't even want to bring them up.
There was one that I saw Dirk posted about in like the Bloomington area.
Yeah. I can't remember what that was called.
I'm gonna have to scroll.
I had never heard of that,
because that would be a place for us to try.
Yeah, or go do a show there or something. Because we're like I said, we love to go out to distilleries and check them out. If there's any distilleries that you know of in the 5-state area here that are worth going to visit, let us know. I know we're going to be going to see Whiskey Acres here soon, up in just west of Chicago or somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Journeyman's been doing some great stuff in southern Michigan. Also, they're in Valparaiso, Indiana now. I love Traverse City Whiskey Company, especially their barrel picks. Their stuff's great. Obviously High Bank over in Ohio. And then there's always new distilleries. There's always new distilleries popping up in Kentucky that seem new, but they've been around for 8 years or something stupid.
I can't find it on his page of what that distillery is called, but it is in kind of that Bloomington area, and would be an easy one for us to go down to. The other place we could hit if we were going down there is Cardinal Spirits. I'd be interested to see what they're doing, because they've kind of gone silent as far as the market's considered.
Maybe they decided that their marketing looks horrible.
I hope that they did, because they have good product. They really do. But their bottle looks like a store brand. And I know that they were the ones that bottled Krogman's, but it looks like an extension of the Krogman's line, which was as far as I know, a private bottling for Big Red that was all MGP juice. And it was cash strength younger product at like that $20 mark. So it's pretty bad to be lumped in with that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We've tried some of the Cardinal stuff that was actually really good, but it looks like a kindergartner made a label in paint and taped it on the bottle.
Yeah.
It's like no one, I mean, I just can't see the curb appeal for that one.
Those are now discontinued.
Are they?
The Krogman stuff is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And honestly, that's fine. Their Irish whiskey was, I guess, an Irish whiskey finished in stout barrels.
Oh, interesting.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
I almost think those don't really go together, but
I would think that they would, because you think about those shortbread cookie notes that you get in a lot of Irishes and
Yeah,
a
but
little.
you also get a lot of green apple, and that doesn't
Yeah,
seem to go
yeah.
well with.
Well, that was the problem,
Stouts.
and it tasted somehow like tequila. And me and my friend at one point had that bottle. I brought it down to Nashville to visit Isaiah because he was just like, dude, pick that up. I want to try that. And his sister started. She is notorious for putting down a lot very quickly. So she was 3 sheets to the wind and decided the only way it was able to be used is in margaritas.
Okay. Margaritas. That's interesting.
She said, it tastes pretty close to tequila. And I said, I will let you have it.
Yes, go for it. Yeah. Well, do you have any other trips coming up that you're thinking about doing? Bourbon or cigar wise or?
No, I will be going down to Nashville in late April, but that's the only thing that I have planned, just because I don't have a lot of vacation time. And I still want to go down and do the Evan Williams bourbon experience, but mostly just to get in Evan Williams
12.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that it really kind of broke my heart the other day when I was talking to some guy that he gets it from his buddy from Japan. Pays $35 a bottle for it. We had to pay $140 for it here.
That's just our market.
It is. It is. But it's worth having a bottle because that's the only place you can get it in America.
I really do think it's a fantastic bottle. But yeah, it's
salty.
It is salty.
It is salty.
If I see one come up on secondary of one of the Japanese releases for around retail price, which they typically do, I may just end up grabbing one of those because, I don't care.
The experience is kind of fun. I mean, the tour guide's kind of comical, and you get a little history of Louisville and Bourbon Row and all that. So it's pretty cool to see, really how that area was and then how it's transformed now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, I mean, you still have Angel's Envy, you've got Old Forestry, you got Evan Williams, and you got several restaurants that are along that road that are still keeping that kind of vibe alive. And it's a lot of fun. What's the name of that? Is it Doc
Crow's?
Doc Crow's. If you want to try anything from anywhere in the entire United States,
from any point in time.
Oh yeah, they've got
Dusties.
What they say, 2,500 different offerings there. Yeah. And if you look through there and you're like, oh, I'm in a state and I've got this podunk little distillery down the street, they probably have something from them.
I'll bet they do.
I mean, they've got stuff from little bitty distilleries in this state that I'm like, I wouldn't drink that if I had to, but they had it on the menu because guess what? They have everything.
Yeah.
And it was pretty wild. So that would be a good place to go and try things. But I will say the Evan Williams experience, their prices are a little bit salty on their pours.
That is Kentucky distilleries across the board.
It's not just them. It's everybody.
Yeah. But, Rob, are there any distilleries you're excited to see what's coming from them in 2024? Let's say state of Indiana.
State of Indiana?
Yeah.
Well, we know 55's not. I don't think they're going to be putting anything out this year. They're in their lull year where it's 25. Yeah. In 2025 is when it's going to be coming out. I am interested in that Mizunara from Starlight.
Yeah.
That does sound interesting to me. Other than that, I can't really think of anything in Indiana that I'm excited about. I'm definitely excited about what Drew is doing.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say I take that back. So Backbone, they're still in the same warehouse area as 8th Day, but they actually have their own tasting room now. They're building that out right now. So they're starting to do some new stuff. I'm anxious to see where they go. I'm kind of anxious to see how 8th Day stuff is starting to age.
Yeah.
Because when we were down there tasting it, some of the stuff was a little young, but it had a lot of promise.
Yeah, they're absent.
But I will say I'm looking forward just to see what what crazy stuff Alan comes up with this year, because I think we're
Absolutely.
definitely gonna try to go do another barrel pick with him and do
Yeah.
another brandy barrel probably, because
Yeah.
we're not out of it yet. We still got a couple cases of each, but
They're
that
low.
went pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that stuff is so freaking good.
Oh, yeah.
Is there somebody you're thinking of?
The distillery that I am looking forward to hearing about in 2024, I guess, which is this year, is West Fork.
Okay.
I think that their own stuff should finally be of reasonable age to put out. Whether it's going to be amazing or not, I don't know. Jury is out on that. But
So their own stuff's getting to that 4-year mark?
it's got to be.
Okay.
I mean, it has to be at this point.
Yeah, you would think.
Because they had that whole warehouse, which was over by 8th Day. They owned some of that spot.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they had a barrel house there, and now they've built a new place up in Westfield.
Which is actually beautiful.
So you got to think that they should have some 4-year, 5-year product coming out now.
Yeah. And you know, I totally blew past the one that I'm most excited about.
What's
Hard Truth Bourbon.
Yeah.
Hard Truth. We tasted it out of the barrel, and I'm hoping it's coming out this year. Their bourbon is insane. Their bourbon is going to make people say,
I believe
Sweet
that.
Mash Rye, what the hell was that?
Which the Sweet Mash Rye is fantastic.
It's delicious. So, I mean, yes, I am excited about, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's coming this year or not, but
Sure hope
there is
so.
some exciting stuff coming in.
Yeah, I
Indiana,
mean,
man.
this is a year to really change the landscape of Indiana distilling. I hope Starlight starts putting out more stuff in that 5 to 6 year range. We're not going to see much from Jason at Old 55, and he's probably going to have to do a rebrand to come back on the market next year.
Well, he does have a few barrels he's releasing here and there, but it's usually
they're probably-
distillery only.
Yeah, so it's not going to hit mass market like
No.
it once would. Yeah, I mean, this year could really be a game changer for all of our distilleries that were kind of coming of age.
Well, and with MGP, buying a few brands up, who knows what they could do with Penelope brand. I mean,
Yeah.
now that Penelope doesn't have to source the barrels, it's just available to them. They could be coming out with some really crazy stuff this year.
I would like to see a Penelope Remus collab.
I would like to see a Penelope Remus takeover.
Yeah, that's really what I want to see. Huge shout out to Derek over at Deadwood Live for this
Yes.
table. It is beautiful, wonderful craftsmanship, hold up super well in a retail establishment. You should see how much wear and tear these tables get
Every day.
every single day. But thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
I hope you have an amazing year set before you.
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram at the Whiskey Pastor.
And you find me at Final Third Cigar.
And you
Thanks a
can
lot for
find
listening.
Tam in the shop occasionally.
Yes, she's here working right now. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys soon.
Cheers.